Hello and welcome to my channel. I have another question today, and the question is, what is the heart of the earth? From Matthew chapter 12 verse 40. In Matthew 12:40, Jesus says, "For just as Jonah was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish, so will the Son of Man be 3 days and 3 nights in the heart of the earth." The Greek word translated as heart refers to the core of something, including inanimate and inanimate objects following his crucifixion. Jesus, the Son of Man, will spend 3 days and 3 nights in the heart or core of the earth. To appreciate the significance of this unique expression, we must review the context of Matthew 12:33 to 40. In Matthew 12:33 to 37, Jesus addresses the challenges to the Pharisees to consider the condition of their hearts. To this end, he uses a metaphor about trees and the fruit they produce. A good tree produces good fruit, but a corrupt tree produces bad fruit. Jesus knew that the Pharisees were evil and corrupt because they had spoken evil things about him. On Judgment Day, the Pharisees will answer for every careless word they speak. Next, the scribes and Pharisees request a sign. "Teacher, we wish to see a sign from you." Jesus had already performed many signs and miracles in their sight, but they refused to believe in him as the promised Messiah. So Jesus says, "An evil and adulterous generation seeks for a sign, but no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah." Here the word adulterous refers to an unfaithfulness to God. The scribes and Pharisees were unfaithful because they honored God with their lips, but their hearts were far from him. This was abundantly clear by their request for a sign. When Jesus says no sign will be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah, he is not denying other signs and miracles that he had performed. He is saying rather that the most important sign is the one he has yet to perform, that is, his death, burial, and resurrection. Jesus then points to Jonah, who was 3 days and 3 nights in the belly of the great fish. Jonah was swallowed by the great fish because of disobedience to God, but Jesus was perfectly obedient to the point of death, even death on a cross. Following his crucifixion, Jesus was in the heart of the earth, that is, in the grave or the heart of the earth. Just as God delivered Jonah from the belly of the great fish, he also delivered his son from the grave. He also delivered his son from the grave. "You will not abandon my soul to Sheol, or let your Holy Ones see corruption." In both instances, the words of Jonah ring loud and clear. Salvation is of the Lord. Jonah is in the belly of the great fish, and Jesus is in the heart of the earth. Both men seemed like goners. No one comes back from such trauma. Survival is not to be expected, but God had a different plan. 3 days after Jonah was swallowed and given up for dead, here he comes again on dry land and declaring the good news of salvation to the Assyrian city of Nineveh. 3 days after Jesus was buried in the heart of the earth, truly dead, here he comes again, alive and well, and declaring the good news of salvation to the whole world. We can't ignore the sign of Jonah. The heart of the Pharisees was set on a sign from Jesus, but Jesus' heart was set on his death, burial, and resurrection in effect. Death, burial, and resurrection. In effect, Jesus was saying, you are worried about the wrong things. Instead of seeking a sign from me, you should examine yourselves to see the impurity in your heart. And the only way to receive a new heart, a heart that is acceptable to God, is to believe in my death, burial, and resurrection. Indeed, this is the core message of the gospel. Thank you for listening to this question, and I'll see you next time.